on the movie film show today, we've got news for fans of the 90s movie, Kingpin. On top of that, we've got trailers for Space Jam: A New Legacy, Free Guy, and a very exciting, star-studded new Steven Soderburgh movie. But before we get into any of that, we've got to talk about LOKi. I've made no secret of it here on the Movie Film Show that I've been eagerly awaiting the release of LOKi. And this week we finally got it. On June 9th, the first episode of LOKi hit Disney+. And really enjoyed it. Now, it wasn't the most explosive episode. There was a lot of setup and there was a lot of two people sitting in a room talking to each other. But already it has that cinematic feel to it. You can tell there's a lot to play with there, with the whole LOKi thing. It seems like the show's gonna fill in a lot of plot holes made by the whole time travel thing they brought in Endgame. But the very interesting thing with this show is it seems that the LOKi within the show isn't the same LOKi we've seen in all the movies. This LOKi hasn't experienced all those things. He's living on a different timeline. In fact, he's not living on any timeline. And that's why the time variance people come along. Now, I'm pretty sure I've seen this in Rick and Morty. They've kind of just taken that same thing and brought it into Marvel, but they can get away with it because Marvel pretty much own everything anyway. Now, there wasn't explosive action in this one. There wasn't amazing fight scenes, and there wasn't really an explosive story or an exciting story so much. It was very much setting up. But the initial setup for me, I felt, was very good. There was a lot of interesting elements in there. Tom Hiddleston, I think, is just fantastic within the role of LOKi. And I'm surprised with Tom Hiddleston, for such a good actor, that nobody has mentioned him in the race for the next James Bond. At least to my knowledge, I haven't heard anyone mention him, but I think he'd be a great contender for that. That's just a bit of a sidetrack. Episode 1 of LOKi, there's not too much to write home about. The big reveal at the end, if you didn't see it, LOKi now has to hunt down Loki. That's certainly going to be interesting to see what they do with that. But I'm very excited for episode 2, and I'd love to know your thoughts on LOKi episode 1. Not so much a review, it's just ramble about episode 1. We'll talk about episode 2 next week. But with that out of the way, let's jump into this week's movie news and trailers. So sticking with Marvel, another series they're working on, another TV show they're working on is She-Hulk, where Tatiana Maslany of Orphan Black, she's going to be playing She-Hulk. Mark Ruffalo's been confirmed to be in there somewhere, but a new addition to the cast has been revealed this week as Jameela Jamil, who you may know from The Good Place, a fantastic show if you haven't seen it, especially season 1. Season 2 is kind of like, She was fantastic in The Good Place. I remember her from all the way back in the day presenting on like Channel 4, like music shows and stuff, just presenting stuff, and now she is in this big Netflix show. Well, now she's in an even bigger show with Marvel, and I hope she does fantastic in it. Try and think of an amazing cutaway. What's an amazing segment into the Space Jam trailer? Here's the new Space Jam trailer.
Yo, King, you're about to lose your family.
Got the world in my hand.
Everything you love.
Well, at least we're good.
Oh, and I almost forgot. All of the tunes will be deleted, so...
Come on, guys. The Toon Squad doesn't give up.
If we're going out loony.
Up the jam.
You gotta win this game and get our son back.
Space Jam: A New Legacy gets its trailer there. If you want to see the full new trailer, there will be a link in the description below, as always with all our trailers. They've had 2 trailers now. The first trailer was basically in the second trailer. Everything that was in the first one was in the second one, but they added a little bit more on. And that has me a little bit worried for it that there's not too much going on within the movie. Now, not to say the first one was, you know, a cinematic masterpiece or an amazing story, but it was certainly entertaining and enjoyable because it was original. This one, I'm not too excited for it. It's been in the pipeline for years. People have rumored it for years and years and years that they're going to make a new Space Jam and LeBron James is going to be in it instead of Michael Jordan. There's a small hint in it that they have a secret weapon, and I'm hoping that secret weapon will be Michael Jordan, but it's probably going to be something ridiculous. Then again, they are the Looney Tunes. The first one is a classic. For anyone who grew up in the 90s, Space Jam, the original Space Jam, is a classic movie. This Space Jam, I don't think it's going to have the same impact. They have better graphics and stuff. They have Don Cheadle as the bad guy, that's always a good thing. That was the Marvel link. What I've taken away from the second trailer is that this isn't a sequel to the original one. It's more of a reboot. At least that's what it seems on the face of it so far. And to me, that's very disappointing if it is that thing. If the Looney Tunes don't remember Michael Jordan's adventure with them and saving them the first time around, that's going to be a little bit disappointing because it'd be great if there was a connection between the two. Now, hopefully there will be, and I'm wrong on that, but that seems to be the way they're leaning. This is a whole new standout thing. Personally, I'm not super hyped for Space Jam: A New Legacy anymore. I've kind of been put off by both trailers, but hopefully I'll be wrong and the movie will be spectacular. Let me know your thoughts on Space Jam: A New Legacy in the comments section below. Jumping back into some movie news, it was revealed this week by James Wan, the director of Aquaman. The sequel to Aquaman is going to be called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which you would assume is Atlantis. I'm a little bit more optimistic for DC stuff since the Snyder Cut. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But sticking with DC, they have another movie coming out. A movie which stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart and John Krasinski and Vanessa Bayer and Diego Luna and Kate McKinnon. And that movie is The League of Super Pets, an animated movie. They're all going to feature their voices in there. It's a star-studded cast, so hopefully the rest of the film lives up to the amazing cast, because that's one hell of a cast right there. But speaking of a movie that has a stellar cast, an unbelievable cast, check out this snippet from the trailer of No Sudden Move.
I had a little slip-up at work.
I don't think that's the end of that. You chickened out. Oh.
The problem is, you're not smart enough to know how not smart you are, which makes you unpredictable, which makes you untrustworthy. Why are you doing this, man?
Cause I'ma get what's mine.
No Sudden Move is a new movie from Steven Soderburgh, which stars Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, John Hamm, Ray Liotta, Kieran Culkin, the brother of Macaulay Culkin, who you may have seen in movies like Igby Goes Down, which is a fantastic movie, David Harbour, who you'll know from Stranger Things and soon Black Widow, and Brendan Fraser. And an interesting note is that Matt Damon is listed as part of the cast on IMDb. He's not featured in the trailer or on the poster, so maybe he's just involved, you know, in the backdrop producing or something like that, but he is linked on IMDb with this movie. I don't know why. It looks really cool. It's got a kind of gangster feel to it. Steven Soderbergh's made some decent movies down the years, and that cast is unbelievable. So that's a movie straight away that I'm super excited for. It comes out on July 1st on HBO Max in America. I don't know where it comes out in the UK and Ireland, more than likely Sky, because they've been doing that recently. They've been kind of sharing things. But No Sudden Move very quickly became one of my most top priority movies to watch this year. And hopefully when it comes out, I'll get a chance to review it here on the channel. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. Speaking of a movie, another great transition. Speaking of a movie I got fairly excited for when I initially heard about it, because I loved the original. When I was a kid, it was one of my favorite movies, and it also freaked me out at times. But the movie Kingpin, kind of a cult classic movie from the 90s, Woody Harrelson, Bill Murray, bowling. It was fantastic. Well, that movie, all these many years later, is reportedly getting a sequel. It's rumored that there's a sequel in the works for Kingpin. It's a long time down the road and I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with it, but apparently that's on the way. If you're a fan of Kingpin, let me know. Does it need a sequel? Will it just be another Dumb and Dumber 2? We'll have to wait and find out there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that said, we've only got one trailer to go, and you know what that means? That means it's the end of the show. Features some very interesting stuff on this week's show, some great news, some great trailers. Let me know your opinions on anything featured in the show in the comment section below. And of course, as always, with any trailer featured, there will be a link to the full trailer in the description below for you to check it out all for yourself. So before I throw you over to the last trailer of the week, I'd really appreciate if you did me one or possibly two little favors. Because one way you could greatly help this little channel grow is either subscribe if you're not subscribed already, or share it on your social media. Tell all your friends to check out the Movie Film Show channel, because it's the greatest movie YouTube channel by an Irish guy called Carl, who has a Kill Bill poster in the background. Definitely in the top 2 there, maybe. But the final trailer this week is for Ryan Reynolds' new movie, Free Guy, and it looks a little bit like this.
There's no easy way to say this. This world, it's a video game. You're not real.
Please stop my...
And the guy responsible for this world is going to destroy it.
You've met God?
Yes, he's an absolute troll.
Trolls exist.